Four roommates, four choices. One decision changed everything.
Leo could hardly contain his excitement as he stepped into the university hostel for the first time. It was the beginning of a new chapter. He had always been one of the brightest students in school, and his parents were proud of him. Raised in a Christian home, Leo had grown up learning to pray, read his Bible, and stand firm in his values. His parents often reminded him, "Character is what you become when no one is watching." His room had 3 other occupants. Tony was friendly and easygoing. He came from a home with good values. His mother rarely missed church, while his father preferred quiet Sunday mornings at home watching the news. Though Tony wasn't deeply involved in church activities, he had been taught right from wrong and had never been known as a troublesome boy. Ben came from a wealthy family. Money had never been a problem. His parents traveled frequently, leaving him and his siblings in the care of housekeepers. Despite the lack of parental attention, Ben had a generous heart and was loved by almost everyone who knew him. Then there was Kay. Kay grew up in a neighborhood where survival came before supervision. His parents left home before sunrise every day and returned long after dark. Most of his childhood was spent with older boys on the street, whom he proudly called his big brothers. They protected him, advised him, and slowly became the voices he trusted most. Although they came from completely different backgrounds, the 4 boys quickly became inseparable. They attended lectures together, studied together, joked together, and slowly became more like brothers than roommates. One Tuesday morning, Leo left early for a practical class. Kay remained in the room because his lectures would not begin until noon. A few minutes later, Ben and Tony returned unexpectedly after discovering that their morning lecture had been canceled. As they pushed open the hostel door, they froze. Kay was bent over his table, hurriedly hiding a small wrapped package. "What was that?" Ben asked. "Nothing," he replied quickly. Tony frowned. That didn't look like nothing. Realizing he had already been caught, Kay sighed and sat down. "It's a hard drug," he admitted quietly. The room fell silent. "You use drugs?" Tony asked in disbelief. Kay nodded. "I've been using them since senior secondary school 1. The confession shocked them. Seeing the questions written all over their faces, Kay continued. "There was a senior in school who bullied me almost every day. I was scared of him. My street brothers introduced me to this stuff. They said it would make me fearless and confident enough to stand up to him." He paused before adding, "And it worked. I beat the bully. After that, I just never stopped." He shrugged as though it wasn't a big deal. "This is why you people always see me full of energy, happy and confident. Honestly, people exaggerate how dangerous it is." Then he looked at Ben. "You should try it once before judging." Ben hesitated for only a few seconds. "I've always wondered what it feels like," he admitted. "I just never knew where to get it." Before Tony could stop him, Ben took a small amount. Within minutes, his body reacted. His heart raced. He laughed without reason. He became unusually energetic and couldn't sit still. "You see," Kay smiled, "it's just because it's your first time." Ben's eyes lit up. "I've never felt like this before." Everything around him suddenly seemed exciting. Tony watched quietly. He had expected Ben to collapse or become seriously ill. Instead, Ben appeared unusually cheerful. But something still bothered Tony. Ben wasn't acting like himself. His excitement didn't feel natural. Later that afternoon, they attended their lectures. Ben talked more than usual. He could hardly stay in one place. He seemed unusually excited by almost everything around him. On their way back to the hostel that evening, while waiting for Leo to finish his practical class, Kay lowered his voice. "Please don't tell Leo." Ben nodded immediately. "He'll start preaching to us." Tony looked from one friend to the other. He remembered his mother's words. One wrong decision can quietly change the direction of your life. Ben smiled at him. "You should try it too. It's nothing like people say." Just once, Tony didn't answer. His mind was at war with itself. And without knowing it, the biggest decision of his university life had just begun.